Debt, as it ties to education, is a real big issue. It's getting more and more expensive to fund college educations, both at the undergraduate level and at the graduate level. It's having an impact, I think, now in a serious way, in a way it hadn't, at least when I was coming up. From some of the stories I've read, high school kids are really like, you know what, I can get these skills if I go this way. Technology is impacting the way that universities are having to adjust because there's these other programs that'll teach you how to like code for the internet, for example, over a 12-week span for 1/16 of the price of what it costs to go to school for a year. So I think that's having an impact on what universities are trying to calculate for. And I think it's a good thing, honestly, because students and, you know, high school students need options when it comes to getting the skills they need to compete in, you know, kind of a global market of skills. What people should recognize is that we're living in a digital age where we interact with our banking institutions digitally. And that just opens the door for incredible amounts of like things that can go wrong. And so when you consider that, you have to then consider how many institutions have access to my information, how many different apps am I using that have direct links to my bank account, how many things, like how many products am I using? And even though it might make your life easier, I know I make a point to try to winnow down what I'm using and on what platform such that I'm reducing my amount of risk. There's no way, especially when you're using the online space that we all live in, to avoid that. But if you winnow it, you reduce your chances of exposure. So though I don't think there's anything one person could do to have avoided that situation, I do think if we're conscious of who we're giving information to each and every time, we reduce the likelihood that we'll be in that big old number when stuff like that comes up.